I want to take you somewhere deeper, not into a space, but into a process, a way of becoming, of breaking, and of building something new from contradiction. I've been writing a thesis on which about the philosophy of George Wilhelm Friedrich Hegel, and I've been asking a question that's haunted me ever since this class has closed, which one of my classmates have also asked in the class. Was Hegel a victim of duality? And if so, what does that say about us? Because maybe, just maybe, we all are. Hegel is one of the most misunderstood philosophers in history. Even I myself has found it difficult to understand the philosophy of Hegel. I had to even read his text over and over again, multiple times. He is often boxed into complexity, made to sound like a puzzle that is impossible to solve and that no one can actually solve. But the truth is, Hegel was trying to make sense of a world in pain, of spirit trying to become itself, of identity constantly being shaped through what it is not. Hegel also believed in a structure called the dialectic. Dialectic goes something like, we begin with a position called a thesis, and that position is then challenged by its opposite called an antithesis. And through their conflict, a new position is born, which is the synthesis. But this synthesis isn't just a compromise. It's a transformation, and it carries the trace of the struggle that birthed it. Just like life. Think about a time you thought you had it all figured out. Maybe it was your career path, a relationship, or even your idea of who you were. Then something came, maybe a failure, maybe a betrayal, a breakup, or simply life just not going your way. That's contradiction. That's the antithesis, and most of us try to avoid it. But Hegel says that it is a birthplace of transformation. That's where your spirit becomes. Now, I want to bring another voice in this discussion because Hegel reminds me of Catherine Malabou. She's a contemporary French philosopher who reads Hegel with something new, which she called plasticity. Plasticity, on the other hand, means something that can both receive form and give form, just like a clay or simply our brain, our heart, after it's been broken, right, and rebuilt. Malabou says we don't just change gradually, we change explosively. There are moments in life that shatter us, right? But they also give us a new shape, a new us, a new person, a new reality, and perhaps a new chance in life. This is where my thesis comes in. I'm arguing that maybe Hegel didn't just theorize contradiction. Maybe he embodied it. Maybe contradiction was not just his method, but his wound. And what if the same is true for us? I've gone through moments where I felt I was split between two worlds, and between what people expected of me and who I truly was. between survival and expression, even between silence and violence. And for a long time, I thought that meant I was lost, broken, or inconsistent. But reading Hegel, understanding his philosophy, taught me something new, that identity isn't a perfect line, it's a process of contradiction, of dying and becoming, and that every time we are torn between two things, we are not falling apart. We're in the middle of transformation. Going back to my original question, was Hegel a victim of duality? Maybe he was, but maybe he turned that inner conflict into a vision, and maybe we can too. We don't have to run from our contradictions. We don't have to hide the parts of us that don't make sense yet. We can let the fire shape us. We can trust the process of becoming, even when it's uncomfortable, even when it breaks us often. Because, as Malabo says, we are not just formed by life, we are forming life in return. So, if you're someone who is in the middle of something painful or uncertain or chaotic, maybe you're not broken. Maybe you're in your synthesis. Maybe you are becoming. That's so beautiful. Thank you for walking through these thoughts with me. And if this spoke to you philosophically or personally, maybe we can create a lot of discussion like this, and we can exchange our contradiction and identity and becoming in the future. And remember, the self is not static, it is fire. Let it burn what it must, and let it reveal what you truly are. Namatay.
Tay, nag-video ka pa? Baka narinig yung mura ko.
Hindi ko alam.
Check mo ba?
I am actually in the beach. Skinny dipping. Whatever. Thank you for watching.